Okay, good morning once again, one and all. So, in this today's particular lecture, we'll understand how to solve the problems on vibration isolation and force transmissibility. So, in the last lecture, we have understand the theory and concept of vibration isolation and force transmissibility. So, we have understand that the effectiveness of isolation depends on the amount of force or motion transmitted to the machine or the structure. That is, we know that transmissibility is nothing but the ratio of force transmitted to the foundation upon impressed force, right? And the lesser the force or motion transmitted, greater is the isolation. So finally, we have derived the formula for Tr is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta into r square. Then we have also derived the formula for the phase angle, for which we have used this particular vector diagram. So first of all, let us understand what is phase angle. The phase angle which we have derived is nothing but the angle by which displacement vector x lags the force vector f0 is called as the phase angle. Okay, so phase angle which we have derived is nothing but tan inverse of 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square. Similarly, we also have understand that alpha is equal to tan inverse of 2 zeta r. What is alpha? Alpha is nothing but the angle by which displacement vector lags the force transmitted vector ft. Now, obviously the angle between the displacement vector and the force vector f0 is nothing but the phi. So the angle between the ft and f0 is phi minus alpha. So this phi minus alpha is called as angle of lag. So this angle of lag is the angle by which force transmitted vector lags the impressed force, that is f0, and is given by phi minus alpha. So how do we calculate phi minus alpha? So phi minus alpha is tan inverse of 2 zeta upon 1 minus r square minus tan inverse of 2 zeta r square, that is phi minus alpha. Now we'll use these expressions to solve this particular problem. So let us start solving the problem number 1. So let us understand the given data. A machine 90 kg mass, so there is a machine which is having 90 kg mass, has a 20 kg rotor. So a mass of the rotor is nothing but an unbalanced mass, that is 20 kg, having eccentricity E as 0.5 mm. The mounting of the springs has stiffness K is equal to 85,000 Newton per meter and damping ratio zeta at 0.02, and the operating speed of the machine is given as 600 rpm. So once the operating machine is given, you can easily find out omega. So omega is equal to external exciting frequency 2 pi n upon 60. So that becomes 62.83 radian per second. Okay. Now find the dynamic amplitude of a machine and the force transmitted to the. So what do you mean by dynamic amplitude of the machine? So dynamic amplitude of the machine is nothing but x. The x is called as the amplitude of vibration, or you can also call it the steady state amplitude or amplitude of vibration. Which vibrations? Amplitude of forced vibration due to, now the condition is given of unbalance. So the rotor is having an unbalanced mass of 20 kg at an eccentric distance 0.5 mm. So this statement means that this problem is corresponding to the force vibration due to rotating unbalance. So we have to use the concept of force vibration due to rotating unbalance, on which we have already solved the problems. So how do we find out x? This is the first step, and secondly they have asked you to find out ft, that is the force transmitted to the support or the foundations, right? So we have to combine this problem of force vibration due to rotating unbalance and vibration isolation and force transmissibility. So first of all, let us find out omega n is equal to k upon n. So k is 85,000 divided by n is 90 kg, it is given. So omega n is 30.73 radian per second. Now once you find out omega and omega n, what is frequency ratio? R is equal to omega upon omega n. So frequency ratio is 62.83 divided by 30.73. So R is equal to 2.304. 2.04. So now what is the formula for force vibration due to rotating unbalance? X upon MOE upon M. This is the basic formula which we have already derived, is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta bracket square. Okay, so now we have to just put all the values here. So what are the values here? So x upon, so MOE is nothing but 20 into 20 kg into what is E? Eccentricity is 0. Eccentricity is given as 0.5 mm. So that is equal to 0.0005 meter. Let us convert into the meters. Okay, so 0.000005 upon 90 is nothing but a capital N is equal to R. We have derived 2.04 raised to bracket square, and in the denominator I have 1 minus 2.04 bracket square, complete whole bracket square is 2 into zeta is 0.02 into again R is 2.04 and then whole bracket square, and finally by putting into the calculator I am getting x. There is a steady state amplitude of a force vibration due to reciprocating rotating unbalanced body is given by x is equal to 1.46. You are getting answer in meters, minus 10 raised to 3 meters. So you can just convert it into mm because it is very small, 1.46 mm. So this is your first answer. Now they have asked you to find out the force transmissibility. So what is force transmissibility is given by Tr is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. This is given. This is the basic formula which we have derived. Okay. So first of all, let us find this Tr. So what is Tr? Is nothing but the force transmissibility. So square root of 1 plus 2 into zeta is 0.02 and r is 2.04 whole bracket square. This is the basic formula of force vibration due to vibration isolation and force transmissibility divided by square root of 1 minus 2.04 square whole bracket square plus 2 into 0.02 the same term 2.04 bracket square. Okay, so from this I am getting Tr is equal to 0.317. Okay, so now once you calculate the Tr, what is the next step? You have to calculate the transmitted force Ft. What is Ft? Ft is the transmitted force. So this is your last step to calculate the transmitted force. Now what is transmitted force? Transmitted force Tr is equal to Ft upon F0. Okay, F0 Tr we have calculated. So Ft we have to calculate. So what is F0? F0 is nothing but a static or increased force. So for rotating unbalanced, what is F0? It is MO into omega square. So 20 into 0.005 into 62.83 bracket square. So from this I am getting F0 as 39.47 Newton, right? Okay, this is what I am getting. Now once you get this, what is Tr? Tr is equal to 0.317 is equal to Ft upon 39.47. So from this I am getting Ft, that is the transmitted force, is equal to 12.53 Newton. Now how can you check that your answers are correct? Now you know that your R, when your R frequency ratio is greater than 2, okay, which is equal to 1.41. So in this particular answer problem, your frequency ratio which you have calculated, R is nothing but 2.04. So when you, so from the frequency response curve which we have already studied in the theoretical part, you know that at higher frequencies, that is as the frequency ratio goes on increasing, isolation becomes better. So isolation is greater at higher speed, which we have already studied. I will write it. Isolation is greater at higher speed. So this is what we have studied from the frequency response curve of force transmissibility versus frequency ratio. So now when R is greater than 1, the transmissibility tends to approach to 0, means what, it becomes less than 1, right? So your Tr is less than 1, means what, your Ft upon F0 is less than 1. So therefore this means that your transmitted force is less than F0, means what, the force transmitted to the foundation is less, means what, you are getting a better isolation. So now in this case your Ft is 12.53, F0 is 39.47, so F0 is greater than Ft and Tr is also less than 1. So that is why all the answers are correct as per the frequency response curve. Hope you have understand how to solve such type of problem. Now let us move on to the next problem. That is a problem number 2 on washing machine. So when a washing machine of mass 200 kg, so what is being given here? Let us start writing the solution. So given M is equal to 200 kg and the unbalance. So again they have given the unbalance of 0.02 kg meter. So they have given us directly, now they have given us a MOE. So this again is the same problem as the problem number 1. Slightly there is a small change. Let us understand what is a small change. So MOE is given as 0.02 kg meter is mounted on the isolator. The isolator deflects by pi mm under static load. So they have given you the static deflection, that is del is equal to, what is that given? Pi into 10 raised to minus 3 meter, right? And also they have given n, the operating speed, as 1200 rpm. So first of all let us find omega, which is equal to 2 pi m by 60, which is equal to 125.664 radian per second. Okay. Now we know that the static deflection del is equal to mg upon k, right? This is mg upon k. So now from this equation, what I will get? I will get k is equal to mg upon del. Okay. So I am getting k is equal to mg upon del. Okay. So now we know m, we know g, we know del. So we can easily find out the k, that is the stiffness of this particular isolators. So let us find out k. So k is equal to 200 into 9.81 divided by pi into 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. So therefore I am getting k is equal to 39.24 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per meter. This is I am getting. Okay. Now once you get k, obviously you can easily find out omega n. What is omega n? K upon n. So k is 39.24 and n is nothing but 200. So I am getting omega n is equal to 44.2944 radian per second, right? So now find out r is equal to omega upon omega n. So from now put omega upon omega n. So I am getting the ratio of 28370. Now look here, this r, that is frequency ratio, is greater than root 2, 1.41. Okay, so as per the frequency response curve, when r is greater than root 2, we know that transmissibility is less than 1. So means what, you are getting better isolation. So isolation is greater at higher speed. So obviously your transmissibility should be less than 1 since r is greater than root 2. And r is greater than root 2 is the significance value of the frequency ratio. Now they have asked you to find out the amplitude of washing machine. Means what? Again same, they have asked you to find out x. So what is x? X is nothing but the steady state amplitude of washing machine, or amplitude of washing machine due to the force vibration, that is due to the amplitude of force vibration due to rotating unbalance. So I will write here. So it is nothing but the amplitude of force vibrations due to rotating unbalance, because the condition of rotating unbalance is given. Rotating unbalance. Okay. So again I will use the same formula. The same formula is x upon MOE upon n is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. But in this particular problem there is no any such a condition that damping constant C or either damping ratio zeta is given. So we will assume that the corresponding system is undamped system. Means what? We are using the isolator as a stiffness K only, not there is no any damper in the system. So let us assume that the system is undamped system. So for undamped system, we know that zeta is equal to 0. So this formula will get modified. MOE upon n, that will remain as it is equal to, it will become r square upon 1 minus r square. Now this term will become 0. Now let's try to understand that. Now this is the graph. First of all, let us understand the graph here. So in this graph, what we understand that at this particular point, which is this particular point where the value of r is equal to root 2. Now as the value of r is greater than root 2, you can see that all the curves of transmissibility lies below this line, that is a unity line 1. So means what? Your transmissibility is less than 1. So when r is greater than root 2, your transmissibility should be less than 1. So if your transmissibility is less than 1 means what? Your ft upon f0 is less than 1 means your ft should be less than f0. So amount of force transmitted is less than f0, and that is why in this particular range you are getting a better isolation. I will write here, you are getting a better isolation. Okay. So now obviously when r is greater than root 2, your transmissibility should be less than 1. Okay. So now let us come to this formula. So now in this case, since from that particular curve the r is greater than root 2 and tr should be less than 1, so we have to again modify this formula, because here your r is greater than 1 and it is not only greater than 1 but it is greater than root 2. So we cannot use this formula 1 minus r square. So we have to modify it as r square upon r square minus 1, so that you will get the transmissibility as less than 1. So you have to find out r in such a way that the transmissibility is less than 1 in this case. Okay. Now already r we have calculated. So let us put that r. So from this I am getting x is equal to, what is r square? R square, sorry, x upon what is MO? MO is nothing but a 0.02. MOE is given. So MOE is nothing but a 0.02 and small m is nothing but a 200 kg. So that is given. Is equal to r square we have already calculated 2.8370, which is greater than 2 bracket square divided by 2.830 bracket square minus 1. So from this I am getting x, that is the steady state amplitude of a washing machine. What is the steady state amplitude of a washing machine? So steady state amplitude of a washing machine, x is equal to 11.4188 into 10 raised to minus 5 meter, which is equal to 0.11418 mm. Okay. Now second part. Now they have asked you to find out a force transmitted. Force transmitted. So what is force transmitted now? It is nothing but you have to find out the Ft. So for that we know that transmissibility Tr is equal to, what is the formula to calculate the transmissibility? 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. Right? Now, but we know that the given system is assumed as undamped system, because there is no any value of zeta or damping constant c is given. So this formula will also get modified. So this formula will get modified as Tr is equal to, again, 1 upon 1 minus r square. Right? Because this term will again become 0. So remaining 1, square root of 1 is 1, and 1 minus r square bracket square 1 minus r square. Now again, already I have explained you in this particular graph. What I have explained in this particular graph, that when r is greater than root 2, your transmissibility is less than 1, means what? Your ft is less than f0, right? So again same here. So since your r is greater than root 2, so this formula you have to modify as 1 upon r square minus 1, because r is greater than root 2 as well as it is greater than 1 also. Okay. So now what is my transmissibility? Now see, as per the graph, you should get transmissibility less than 1, which is equal to 1 upon 2.8370. This is your R minus 1. Okay. So now I am getting transmissibility as 0.1418. Okay. So from the graph and from the calculation, now I have confirmed that the transmissibility is less than 1 when r is greater than root 2. So I am getting 0.41. So this is nothing but the amount of this is nothing but a transmissibility, that is a ratio of ft upon f0. Now we know how to calculate f0, which is equal to mo into omega square, right? So what is mo into omega square? We know moe 0.02 and omega is 125.664 bracket square. So let me calculate FO. So F2 is nothing but a 350.828 Newton. Now obviously once you got F0, now here we have understand that your Ft is less than F0, right? From this graph you have understand that the amount of force transmitted is less than F0. So the value of Ft should be less than this F0. So let us calculate the value of Ft. So we know that Tr is equal to Ft upon F0. So Tr is equal to 0.1478. It is 1478. Sorry, 1418 is equal to, what is Ft? We have to calculate, and what is F0? 3151828. Okay, so now putting into the calci, I am getting the value of Ft as, value of Ft as 44.784 Newton. 44.784 Newton. So now from the theory it is clear that my Ft is less than F0 since my transmissibility is less, since your R is greater than root 2, and in this particular range I am getting a better isolation. And always we know that lesser the force transmitted, greater is the isolation. This we have already studied. Okay. Now we will solve the next problem, that is a problem number 3. So again, this is a similar kind of problem. Let us understand what is given here in the problem number 3. In the problem number 3, they have given you the air conditioner weighing N is equal to 200 kg, driven by a motor N is equal to 500 rpm. What is the required static deflection, that is delta, such that of an undamped isolator, so zeta is equal to 0, so that you have to achieve 80% isolation. So they have given the condition that you have to achieve 80% isolation. Now first of all, let us understand what is the relation between the isolation and the transmissibility. What is the relation? Lesser the transmissibility, greater is the isolation. So on and on, your transmissibility plus isolation should be equal to 1. This is the relation which we have already understand. So now from this I will get transmissibility is equal to 1 minus isolation, and obviously what is isolation? So 80% means 0.80, so it is 0.20. Now try to understand that your transmissibility is less than 1. So obviously you have to calculate the R, and that R should be greater than root 2. Okay, because your transmissibility is less than 1. Okay, so now once you calculate transmissibility, let us calculate omega, which is equal to 2 pi by 60, 2 pi into 500 upon 60. So omega is nothing but a 52.35 radian per second. Okay, now what is the formula? Pr is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta bracket square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta square. But you know that zeta is equal to 0. Now when zeta is equal to 0 and also r is greater than root 2, so my formula it gets modified to 1 upon r square minus 1. So that is zeta is equal to 0 and r is greater than root 2. So 1 upon r square minus 1. So what is Tr? 0.20 is equal to 1 upon r square minus 1. So we are getting r is equal to omega by omega n is equal to, we are getting 2.449, which is greater than root 2, that is 1.41. So my relations are correct. So once you get r, you know what is omega. So r is nothing but a 2.449. Omega is 52.35. So from this I am getting omega n, and I will calculate omega n as 21.37 radian per second. Now once, this is again a very simple problem. Once you get omega n, they have asked you to calculate the required static deflection. So what is required static deflection? We know that omega n is equal to square root of k upon n, and there is another formula called g upon delta. So from this I am getting omega n square is equal to g upon delta. So therefore from this I will get delta is equal to g upon omega n square. So what is g? 9.81 divided by what is omega n? 21.37 bracket square. So from this del I am getting in meters. So let us convert it into mm because the answer is very small. So 21.48 mm. So what is your final answer? You can write the required static deflection of each spring is 21.48 mm so that you will achieve a 80% isolation. So to achieve a 80% isolation for an air conditioner, what is the required static deflection of an isolator? 21.48 mm. I hope it is clear to you, all of you, how to solve such type of problem. Okay. Now let's move to the next problem. Okay. Now an aircraft radio weighing 118 Newton. Okay. So let's start solution. So they have given here weight 118 Newton. So we can easily calculate mass. M is equal to, how will we calculate M? So M is equal to 118 divided by 9.81. So we are getting 12.029 kg. The engine runs at a speed ranging from 1600 rpm. Yes. Now they have given you the range of the speed. Till now in first three problems we have understand or they have given only one speed. So now they have given the two speeds. So you have to select any one speed. So let us see how to select one speed with the help of a frequency response curve. So N2 is given as 220 rpm. Now from this I can easily find out omega 1 which is equal to 2 pi n1 upon 60. N2 is equal to 2 pi n2 upon 60. So I am getting omega 1 as, after calculation, 167.55 radian per seconds, and I am getting omega 2 as 230.38 radian per seconds. Okay, this is the first step. Now, what static deflection must the isolator have for 85 isolation? Now, again, this is similar kind of problem as the problem number 3. Only the range of speed is given. Okay, so we have to find out del in such a way that the isolator it should achieve 85% isolation. We know that transmissibility is equal to 1 minus isolation. What is transmission? 1 minus 0.85. So transmissibility is equal to, what is transmissibility? It is equal to 0.15, obviously, which is less than 1. So R will be greater than again root 2. And you will always find R greater than root 2 because as the value of R goes on increasing, that is, as the value of R is greater than root 2, you are getting a better isolation. Okay. Now again, in this particular problem, they haven't given you any damping constant condition or damping ratio zeta. So again, you can assume that when zeta is equal to 0, so now we know that when zeta is equal to 0, the formula Tr is equal to 1 plus 2 zeta bracket square. I am just writing it again. 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. So this formula becomes 1 upon 1 minus r square, but again your r is greater than root 2, so this formula and your Tr should be less than 1, so therefore this formula finally my modified for is 1 upon r square minus 1. So from this particular formula I will get r is greater than root 2 and the Tr is less than 1. Okay, this is the first step. So let us first of all find out r from this. Okay, let us first of all find out r. So what is r? So we know that Tr is equal to 0.50 is equal to 1 upon r square minus 1. Therefore I am getting r is equal to 2.769. Okay. Now once you get r, you can easily find out omega n. So what is omega n? Let us say r is equal to, but we have two speeds now. One is omega n upon omega n, omega 1 upon omega n, or r is equal to omega 2 upon omega n. Now to find out omega n, which speed you will select? Either you will select omega 1 or either you will select omega 2. So how will you select this? So for that, let us understand this graph again once again. So from this graph, what do you understand? We understand that when R is getting a root 2, the transmissibility is less than 1. That is, here is less than 1. Means what? Ft upon f0 is less than 1. Means what? Here Ft is less than f0. So amount of force transmitted is less than f0. Now you can understand from this graph that isolation is better at higher speed. Means what? As the frequency, now you know the frequency ratio is equal to omega upon omega n. Now if omega n is nothing but a natural frequency, or you can call it a design frequency, let us say it is constant for a particular structure. Now if omega goes on increasing, so obviously your R will goes on increasing. So you can see that as the R goes on increasing, that is from root 2, 2 and up to the 3, you can see that the transmissibility goes on decreasing. And as the transmissibility goes on decreasing, obviously the amplitudes of vibration, force vibration will also decrease, and obviously the amount of force transmitted to the foundation will also decrease. Okay, so I can write here dialog as isolation is better at higher speed. Okay, at higher speed. Now, but we have two speeds here. What we have two speed. One is n1 is equal to 1600 rpm, and the second one we have n2 is equal to 2200 rpm. Now, ideally, you will select this 2200 rpm because I am saying that isolation is better at higher speed. But this is not the case. So what we have to do, we have to select n1 is equal to 1600 rpm. Why you have to select n1 is equal to 1600 rpm? Let us understand this. Okay. Now I will write here, if 85% isolation, if 85% isolation achieved is achieved at, let us say, lesser speed, that is a 1600 rpm. Means what? If you are selecting a lesser speed, that is a n1 1600 rpm, and if you are achieving 85% isolation, now what is the range of the speed? It is from 1600 to 1200 rpm. So if the speed of the aircraft radio engine, let us say, increases from 1600 rpm to 2200 rpm, because that is the range. So now if you are getting a 85% isolation at 1600 rpm, then obviously better isolation when 85% will be achieved. So this dialog is very important. Will be achieved at 2200 rpm. Try to understand this statement. What does this statement says? That if you are achieving an 85% isolation at 1600 rpm, then obviously as the range of the speed, as the speed goes on increasing and it moves from 1600 rpm and it increases to 220 rpm. Now what is the dialog? The isolation is better at higher speed. So as the speed increases, your isolation will also become better. So at 1600 rpm, you have achieved 85% isolation. So obviously, as per the theory, that is isolation is better at higher speed, you may get, let us say, 95% isolation at 220 rpm. So what is your problem statement? The problem statement is that what is the static deflection the isolator have for 85% isolation. So if my isolation increases from 85%, that is okay. But let us say if you have selected this, if you would have selected this 220 rpm and you have achieved 85% isolation at 2200 rpm, and if you would have achieved 85% at 2000 rpm, and if the speed decreases from 2200 to 1600 rpm, this isolation would have decreased and maybe it would have been 75%. So that is different from the problem statement. So that is why you should always select a lesser speed, and if you achieve the isolation which is expected at that particular lesser speed, obviously as the speed goes on increasing, and even the speed increases to the extreme range, the isolation will be better only because isolation is better at higher speed. I hope it is clear to all of you. So that is why which speed you will select? You will select omega 1. Okay. So now you select omega 1. So R is equal to, now my omega 1 is, which I have already calculated. So R is equal to 2.69 is equal to omega 1 is 167.55 divided by, what is omega n? We have to calculate. So omega n is equal to, I am getting 60.5 radian per second. Omega n is equal to 60.5 radian per second. Now once you select omega n, you find out omega n. Once you select omega 1 and you find out omega n, you know that omega n square is equal to g upon del st. So from this, what I am getting, del st is equal to, so what is this, omega n, g upon omega n square, 9.81 divided by, again omega square is equal to 60.5 bracket square. So I am getting this. So the corresponding answer, let us say you get in meters, so you convert it into mm and you are getting 2.68 mm. Okay. So finally what you can say, that the static deflection of an isolator is 2.68 mm, so that the isolation is at least 85%. It's not less than 85%. It can be more than 85%, but it should not be less than 85%. I hope you have understood how to solve the problems when the range of the speed is given. So from the graph, how to select. So this statement is very, very important. If 85% isolation is achieved at 1600 rpm, then better isolation than 85% will be automatically achieved at 2200 rpm. So select omega 1, that is 1600 rpm. Okay. So on a similar note, we will solve this one more problem. That is the problem number 5, which is again same. Okay. So let us solve this problem number 5. So solution, M is given as 13 kg to be isolated from the aircraft engine vibration ranging from 1800 to 2300 cycles per minute. So again they have given you N1 is equal to 1800 rpm. So find out omega 1, 2 pi n by 60, right? So omega 1 is equal to 188.49 radian per seconds, and again they have given you n2 is equal to 2. Now again same, obviously you will select this n1 to achieve the 60% isolation. Now it is clear to all of you. 200 rpm. So omega 2 is equal to 2 pi n2 by 60, 240.85 radian per second. Okay. Now here only difference is that in the last problem it was an undamped condition, but here zeta is given 0.045, so that is why you have to solve the equation. Now first of all let us find TR. TR is equal to 1 minus isolation, that is equal to 1 minus 0.65. So TR is equal to 0.85. So now from the graph, what you can understand, TR is less than 1. So obviously R is greater than root 2. Okay, this is what you have to always remember. Now let us use the basic formula. TR is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta R bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus R square bracket square plus 2 zeta R square. Okay. Now how will you solve this? Either you put all the values and solve it with the help of a calci, or you can square on both sides. So I write a squaring on both sides. So what is TR? TR is equal to 0.35. So 0.35 bracket square. This square root will get removed. 1 plus 2 into zeta. So what is this 2 into zeta? Zeta is 0.045. 2 into 0.045 into R as it is, because we have to calculate R1 from this equation. So R is constant as it is, or R is which we have to derive, which we have to calculate. 2 into 0.045 into R bracket square divided by 1 minus R square bracket square plus 2 zeta R bracket square. Okay, again as it is. What is zeta here? I will write as zeta. So here zeta is 2 into 0.045 into R bracket square. So what I am getting now, so you can cross multiply this. Okay, you can cross multiply this. So 1 minus r square means what? 1 minus 2r square plus r is to 4 plus this whole term 2 into 0 means it will become 0 0.008 r square. Okay, minus 1 minus 1. Okay, sorry, 1 minus 2r square plus r is to 4 plus 0.008 r square is equal to, sorry, I will get 8 point after do the cross multiplication and solve the brackets. So we are getting this equation 8.16326 plus 0.0653 r square. So you have to just open this bracket and you have to multiply this 2 by 0.045 and into r bracket square, then 0.35 bracket square, and then just cross multiply and you are getting this equation. And finally I am getting this equation as r is to 4 minus 2.0573 r square minus 7.16826 is equal to 0. So now you can put this equation into the calci and you will get an answer for r square. Remember, you will get an answer for r square, that is 3.8959. So from this you will get the value of r. You can also directly find out the answer of r. So r is equal to 1.95. Okay. Now once you got r is equal to 95, now we have to find out omega 1. So what is omega n? Now r is equal to, we know that r is equal to omega upon omega n. But which speed we will select? We will select omega n. Why omega n? Again you have to write the same dialog. It is very very important, you have to write down the dialogs. So right here, isolation is greater at higher speed. So therefore, if 65% isolation is achieved at less speed. Less speed means what? Achieved at what is the lesser speed? It's achieved at 1800 rpm. Then obviously you will get a better isolation. Then better isolation is achieved at what speed? At higher speed, that is a 2233 rpm. Okay. So what is r? R is equal to 195. So what you will select omega as? Omega 1. So omega 1 is, what is omega 1? Omega 1 we have already calculated, 149 divided by omega n. So omega 1. So from this I am getting omega n. So omega n I am getting after calculation is 96.65 radian per second. Okay, and now what they have asked you to find out the stiffness of an isolator so that the isolation is 65%. So we know that omega n squared is equal to k upon n, right? So what is k? K is equal to omega square into n. So what is the final answer? K is equal to, now we know omega n is 96.65 and m is nothing but a 13 kg. So 13 into 96.65 bracket square. So k is equal to 121.43 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So let us calculate this. So if you put into the calci 121.43, sorry, 13 into 96.65 bracket square, we are getting answer as 121.43 into 435 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter. So this is how you can write. So you can write the statement as the stiffness of an isolator for at least 65% isolation should be equal to 121.435 into 10 raised to 3. This is how we have to solve this problem. Okay. So now let us solve one more problem. So again, this is the graph which you have to always remember. Okay. So this is a graph. You have to just remember that when r is equal to greater than root 2, Tr is obviously less than 1, and Ft by F0 is always less than, Ft is always less than F0, and as the speed goes on increasing, isolation will be better and better. Okay. So now the last problem, it is a problem number 6. A machine of mass 100 kg. Okay. So M is given as 1000 kg, acted upon by external force of 3000 Newton. Now we know that what is the harmonic force? F0 sine omega t. So in that case, what is the F0? External force or impressed force, 3000 Newton at 1800 rpm. M is equal to 1800 rpm. So immediately find out omega, 2 pi by 60. So omega is 188.49 radian per second. The effect of vibration isolators having static deflection of 2 mm under the machine weight. Okay. So static deflection they have given. So they have given the static deflection. What is static deflection? Static deflection is nothing but XST. Now already we have studied this. To reduce the effect of vibration isolator having static deflection of 2 mm under machine weight and damping factor. So XST is nothing but the static deflection, and or you can say the amplitudes of force vibration at zero frequency or zero frequency deflection, or the amplitudes of force vibration produced due to the static force F0. Due to the static force F0, the produced amplitudes are nothing but the XST, that is the static amplitude, which is equal to 2 mm. It is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. And what is X? X is nothing but a steady state amplitude or amplitude of force vibration produced with the harmonic exciting force F0 sine omega t. So we have to find out this amplitude of vibration of machine, which what? Steady state amplitude of X due to the harmonic exciting force. Okay, then damping ratio is given, zeta is equal to 0.2. Then force transmitted to the foundation, we have asked you to find out Ft. Phase lag, what is phase lag? Phase lag is nothing but the phase angle, and the phase angle between the transmitted force and the excited force means what? We have asked you to find out the angle of lag, that is phi minus alpha, nothing but the angle of lag. So this is nothing but a data which is given and the data which you have to find out. So first of all, let us find out K. Now K is equal to mg upon xst. Now this xst is equal to the what? Remember, this xst is nothing but a static deflection, no? So you can consider it as a del st also. It's one and the same. Okay. So what is this m? 1000 into 9.81 divided by 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. So from this, let me find out the stiffness. K is equal to 4.90 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter. Okay. So once you find out K, you can easily find out omega n, K upon n. So that becomes 70.03 radian per second. Okay. So now once you find out this, you will get R is equal to frequency ratio omega upon omega n. What is frequency ratio omega upon omega n? 2.69. Again, it is greater than root 2. So obviously your transmissibility is less than 1. So let us calculate transmissibility. How will you calculate? Tr is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. Now here you know that zeta is equal to 0.2, r is equal to 2.69. So put all the values here. You are getting type from the calci. Tr is equal to 0.2307. Again, it is less than 1. Okay. Yes. Now, what is transmitted force? We know that Tr is equal to Ft upon F0. So therefore, Tr is equal to 0.2307 is equal to Ft upon F0 is 3000 Newton. So obviously your Ft will be equal to 6921 Newton. So now try to understand that this Ft is less than F0. So what is the impressed force? Impressed force is 3000 Newton. The force, the static force which is impressed on the machine is nothing but a 3000 Newton, but the transmitted to the foundation is 690. So the answer is correct, because when R is greater than root 2, the transmission is less than 1 and Ft is always less than F0. This is what we have to always remember. Okay. Now, secondly, what they have asked you to find out the steady state amplitude of a vibrating machine. Means you have to find out which formula you have to use. You have to use the formula force vibration basic equation. So x is equal to xst divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. But what is xst? Xst is equal to f0 by k. This we know. So I will rub out here. And instead of xst I will write f0 by k. Okay. Now we know that r is equal to 2.69, zeta is equal to 0.02, and f0 is equal to, what is the value of f0? Value of f0 is 3000 Newton. And what is the value of k? Value of k we have already calculated as, what is the value of k we have calculated? 4.9 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter. So put all these values in the equation, you will get the steady state amplitude of a vibrating machine, which is equal to 0.096 mm, which is very less. Okay. So this x is nothing but a steady state amplitude. Steady state amplitude means what? The amplitude of steady state vibrations, or the amplitude where the system reaches the steady state condition. Right. Now once you find out x, you can easily find out phi. That is the phase angle. What is phi? Phi is nothing but a phase angle 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square. So phi is nothing but a phase angle. What is phase angle? The angle by which displacement vector lacks the force vector f0. So phi is equal to 10 inverse of 2 into 0.2 into 2.69 divided by 1 minus 2.69 bracket square. So from this I am getting phi is equal to minus 9.78 degree. So as I said that when the answer is negative means what, it is out of phase 180 degree. So add 180 degree here. So you are getting phi as 170 to 120 degree. Okay. So once you get phi, obviously alpha is equal to 10 inverse of 2 zeta r, which is equal to 47.9 degree. So finally they have asked you to calculate the angle of lag. Means what? The angle by which the force transmitted vector ft lags the force vector f0. Means what? It is nothing but a phi minus alpha. So phi minus alpha is nothing but a 123.10 degree. So this is how we have to solve the problem based on vibration isolation and force transmissibility. Okay.